Mary-Louise Parker, great to see you. Welcome to Pop Alternative.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you.
It's really interesting because I guess because I'm a filmmaker as well, and that script to screen journey is always interesting. And the Grey House, the scale is so massive, and I can't even imagine stepping foot and seeing all those sets. What's that like getting those episodes? But then, like, you can picture as much as you can in your mind, right? But then once you get there, it gets real. So, what's that like seeing everything come to life
Yeah.
while you get on set for it?
Oh, it's pretty great. I kind of really love, the like seeing a crowd scene from just a bit removed with all the children in costume and things like that, because it gives you a little bit of the flavor of what it would have been like, and it kind of informs your work. So that was cool. And I mean, they had a real alligator, so I guess they felt it was worth spending money getting a real alligator. So
Yeah, no, for
trying
sure.
to get some authenticity, yeah.
I remember putting on the first couple of episodes and just like, the scale, like everything. And like, one of my favorite things too is just like how it's filmed, right? Like the cinematographer just knocked it out of the park, right? And it's you don't really think about a lot of those things though while you're there, right? Like you're really just focused on the story.
Yeah,
Everything else is kind of like afterwards, right?
right. Yeah, right. Um, I think one of the reasons they shot it in Romania is because there are so many long stretches of land without telephone wire
Mhm.
and connectivity.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting, even just driving to set and seeing, all this green that looked quite like Virginia,
Yep.
because my mother is from that area.
Mhm.
And that kind of set the whole scene in a great way. And um, seeing the sets and the props and the actors was it is really, it does feed everything that you're doing. And when you have the Daisy head who played my daughter is so extraordinary, and I felt I just really had to look in her face really to just feel like I was given the story and the context of the relationship and everything.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting because, there's so many different ways how we watch things as an audience. And I feel like it just changes every year. And it's just crazy with the advent of technology and everything. And, there's the binge where you can like watch them all at once, but then there's the week to week traditional drops, right? And
Yeah.
it's interesting because I remember like, before the streaming days, like I remember like Weeds was like the first show that I went and bought all the DVDs, right? On like DVD.
Oh.
So I just wanted to know, like, from a storyteller perspective, like, do you feel like you're thinking like after you wrap these projects about the audience a lot, like how when people are gonna watch it, how the many ways that people are watching things? Like, it's interesting to think about.
I try not to think about that because I feel like I work better when I'm less concerned about the result. It makes me a little bit freer.
Mhm.
I think people in general fare better when they don't focus too much on others' response to them, which is hard for
Yeah.
us. It's very hard for me to do as a person. It's easier for me to do as an actor.
Yep.
Um, but it's funny you say that because I remember like when I was a little girl, like if you weren't home at 7:30, you didn't get to see it. You didn't get to see it ever. It's like you missed it. That's too bad. And then when they came up with VHS, that was incredible. And then I remember when there was TiVo, it was just like
Mhm.
everything just got more, and I don't even know what they're going to do next. Like,
The DVD box sets of Weeds was like the OG binge, if you think about it, right? Before like streaming.
yeah, there's so many episodes of it, I guess, now that I think about it, because it's 8 seasons. So yeah, that was a lot. Like,
getting
uh,
getting back to the Grey House, like what is that kind of mindset from an acting storyteller perspective? And I guess like depending on the time period and depending on the role, it changes. But like the mindset of going back in time for a role, right? Because there's a lot to kind of think about. But specifically with this one, like what is that
yeah,
mindset like?
it's kind of wonderful. And I just did this movie, Young George Washington, and I played George's mother.
Mhm.
And I had my sister with me, and we kind of were researching and we discovered, oh, at this funeral, her sister was with her, and my sister's an actress. So I said, why doesn't my sister just play it? And watching her put on the period costume and seeing it affect her kind of
Mhm.
was really interesting for me to watch somebody else doing it and seeing how it changed her and how much she loved getting to be in those clothes and just around other people in those clothes and hearing the music. It really does do something to you.
That's a perfect segue to my next question. It's almost like you knew what I was going to ask. You're a pro.
Oh,
um,
good. Yay.
well, no, it's interesting, right? Because you have an incredible body of work, and seriously, it's an honor and privilege to speak with you
Thank you
on the
so
show.
much.
And but you've played like different characters in different worlds. That's what I think is really kind of
Yeah.
incredible about your past work. How separate are past projects for you, mindset preparation wise, compared to something like the Grey House? Like, do you bring mindsets of preparation from Weeds, the Institute, Red to something like this? So they're completely separate once you wrap them.
Mm. I think they're all different. There's like a certain alchemy to every little project. They're different, but I think things compound over the years and just hopefully will, we're always trying to improve as people, I
Mhm.
think. And I'm certainly never feel like anything's good enough. And I think in some ways that's not good. And in other ways it's a blessing because it makes me try harder. But there were certain things in this that I just felt like I loved being a grandmother so much. I've always wanted to be a grandmother in life. And so,
Yeah.
and Roland was like, how do you feel about Granny? And I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. And the little girl, one of the little girls who played my granddaughter was just phenomenal. And she just could commit to it. And it was, yeah, it changed everything,
Yeah.
uh, the way I felt, just like having it's very different from having a child.
Yeah. Absolutely. I feel like you're naturally just gonna bring like some stuff indirectly is gonna come with you from past projects because it's you playing those characters, right? Like Mary
Yeah,
Louise.
definitely.
so
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
so
Yeah,
it's
sure.
absolutely. But I do also want to say like you're gonna know what project I'm referring to when I say this super quick before we wrap up. I mean, like there's so much going on in the horror movie kind of landscape right now. And like the Stephen King universe is just kind of alive and well. I love the
Mhm.
Institute so much. Like that season was so good. Um, I
Oh,
just wanted to know,
good.
like, what's it like working in that genre at a time where, like, I know you don't think, like, you might not think about this, but they've always been around, like, horror movies and, like, sci-fi and thriller and everything, but, like, it is, like, the best time for that content right now. Like, they're the
Yeah.
biggest things that come out. So what's that like working?
It's not my thing at
Yeah.
all.
Mhm.
I can't watch it. I'm kind of a sissy when it comes. I'm just like kind of a baby about like, I
Yeah.
don't mind gore if it's funny, but violence,
Yeah.
but I do love Stephen King and I feel like he's different because I don't know every single, piece that he's ever written, but when you think about even like the Green Mile, the way he uses things that are so horrifying as a means to an end that in ways that are I mean they're just phenomenal. They're like no one would have ever thought of that. You think of how somebody is affected or how they think about the death penalty. I don't see how you could think
Yeah.
about it the same way after seeing that movie. And he knows how to do that, or like Shawshank Redemption, like imprisonment. And he just has that magic
Mhm. Uh,
touch. I don't know. He's
mhm.
the master. So he knows how to make a world and have a shape that is so effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is one thing, but I think for the most part, it's not for me.
There was just
Re-
something so cool about the Institute, though. I don't know. I just like I was
Yeah,
watching this and I'm just like, this world's so cool. I'm so happy we're getting more of it. But it's just like, oh, like they were just so cool, right? It was like a cool show,
yeah.
which I thought was really awesome. And then
Yes, and the kids are just wonderful. They're just
absolutely.
as sweet as they can be, and they're like so new, haven't worked a lot. So it's nice to see kids who aren't jaded at all and they
Mhm.
aren't like sitting there on their phones and they're just, that was really nice
Yeah.
um to work with them and Jack, who I know and who's a friend.
Mhm.
That's really I felt lucky
Absolutely.
to be able to work with him.
Yeah, so great. And then last question came back to the Grey House. I find it interesting, right? Because the scale of the show is so big and the sets and everything. And I'm wondering, like, my filmmaker kind of asks this question because,
What kind
like,
of films do you make?
I make horror movies actually.
My son does too. That's amazing. So, and are they always gore or are they
Some are
like
more gore than others.
funny
I have
or
one that's on right now on YouTube right now that's doing really
okay?
well. That has some
What's
gore
it
in it.
called?
It's called Adjoining.
Okay.
It's a
All
short
right.
horror film. Yeah. But I just wanted to ask, sometimes though we see some scenes in the Grey House and it's like a 3-4 minute scene and then it goes to the next scene, right? Like runtime wise.
Mhm.
But I know that there's a chance that that scene might have taken you like the whole day to film or like 2-3
Or
days.
more than one day. Yeah.
When
There were a
those
couple that took
yeah,
a
when those
while.
big scenes happen, do they feel like their own mini project, like those long scenes, or do they feel like overall part of a big
Time. I mean, it
project?
depends on the budget.
Yeah.
There are if there's a budget, I've seen scenes that just they take, days and days and days.
Mhm.
But and then there, sometimes you just got to make it work
Yeah.
with less time. But there was one scene in a barn where, they're hiding and Mary Jane is hiding and that scene took a really long time and it was raining and it was nighttime and it was hard to get that right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
a lot of people and there wasn't a ton of room in the barn, so that took a long time.
Totally.
And there's like cows in the background. There's just like a lot of moving parts.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for people to see The Grey House on Prime Video. Mary-Louise Parker, it was an honor and privilege to speak with you. Thanks
Nice
so much
to
for your
meet you.
time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.